Now, back to Steiny and Guru on 95.7 The Game.
To get high on. I'm gonna build it up. All my life's a sacrifice. Hey, we got Willard and Dibs.
Who is this
Hey, what's up, gents?
Damn.
Crossover
on the
time.
happy
Damn.
pills.
You asked me when I walked in, are you a big Monday guy?
I asked you that.
Probably a question I've never been asked before. But apparently Steiny is.
Vontae says he loves
Are you
Mondays.
just
believe him?
Are you smelling 211? Is that
I'm
what
smelling 211.
Oh, boy.
Yes, let's do this before. Let's go around the room.
Why
Do
are
you
you
really
so
think?
happy?
Do you really think Monday is Bonte's favorite day of the week, or is it shtick?
I'm going to go first. I'm going to say I think it's crazily his favorite day of the week.
I believe him.
Well,
Really?
I don't think that he knows what day it is because
There's that
the
too.
man works 11 days a week.
Well,
so
right.
honestly, like today is probably his favorite day because he only has one job.
Well,
So
yeah.
that's my answer.
Well, how old's baby Chaz?
3 and a hook.
Yep,
I
Monday's
think.
his favorite day. I just told you guys that when the kids
That
are
is
toddlers,
funny.
when they're toddlers,
Yeah.
I wanted to start a brand called TGIM and just sell it within my little parenting community.
Not bad.
Anybody
Not
who's
bad.
got kids between terrible twos, my butt, terrible threes are way worse. Anyone who has kids between like 3 and 6.
See you later.
Bye. Back to school, back
I
to work.
remember.
Get the hell out this house right now. Yeah, I believe him.
It's
I
funny you
totally
say
believe
that
him.
because my lovely wife, Supper, and I have had this debate of late, and she was saying, I would love to have her home for one more year with the nanny and this and that. And I'm like, hell to the no.
Wow.
Come August, when she's like
Yeah.
5 days a week, and I can drop her off at 8. Mommy leaves the house at 7:45, and the daycare is open,
Yeah.
and I can skiddly daddle her on down the road and maybe grab 9 holes before I show up to
You
work
love her.
with my good friend. I do love her, but sometimes you got to go.
Wow.
Screwdrivers or Bloody Marys for you? Which one?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
In
Which you'll be having soon.
Screwdriver is the answer. Yeah,
Yeah,
Bloody Mary.
that's the correct answer.
The tomato to me becomes a little too
No, it's
acidic.
great. I slept on
Yeah.
those. It's incredible.
You love a Bloody
If we
Mary.
could have one during our show, I did a couple, but yeah.
I would say that I hate them, but I've literally never tried one because I find tomato juice to be so toxic.
Whoa.
But Willard is
time out.
spicy, though. It
Time
was-
out.
I know.
Oh.
Depending on how spicy. Believe me, I used to serve them at the old Custom House in Avila Beach. It was their famous drink. And I would serve those things.
So you are a Bloody Mary virgin?
Totally. I'm a bloody.
Wow,
I am too.
I'm a bloody
Come
virgin.
on,
You've
Steiny.
never had a Bloody Mary?
Never in my
Gross.
entire life. I
That
just
explains
wouldn't.
everything.
Gross.
One time
Like-
it's like my dad's used to drink Manhattans.
Yeah.
One time I put one up to my lips, and I've never had one
You
since.
put your lips on a Manhattan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same with the tomato. I just can't.
Oh, my
See,
Dibs.
a Manhattan is
But you
that's
love
my jam.
You love
I
ketchup,
love that.
right? You love
I
ketchup.
do like ketchup, but I like pizza.
Right, but
That's
not,
amazing.
not a
No.
Bloody Mary.
That's
I don't
amazing.
like eggs, but I like pancakes.
I find all three of those to be different.
You know what he
Ketchup-
is, right? He's a tomatoist. It's tomatoism.
I was
Is
for a
what that
while, but yeah, there are different forms.
But
of
you like
different-
salsa, I bet.
I'll allow
Of course.
See, that's
of course.
amazing.
Also a tomato.
Yeah.
Thank
yeah.
you, Dibs.
Hey, you're welcome. I'm,
Yeah.
you're playing chess. I'm over here playing checkers.
I like tomatoes once they're diced and cooked.
Yes, exactly.
I don't
You
want
don't like them juiced?
I've reached the point in my life where I'll let you put a slice of tomato on my burger if it's
I
got a
can't
lot
do
of
that.
stuff
Nah,
on it.
nah.
But
Too wet.
you want to know what I do? You know how the tomato, when you take the bite,
This is
and then
great.
half the tomato kind of slides
Yeah,
out
yeah,
of the burger?
yeah.
I leave it. I'm like, if you fall,
Okay.
you're out. You gotta stay in here, or else you're not my responsibility anymore.
You and Steiny need to go out to lunch because, and I've dined with Steiny, and this I'll say this without
I'd be
judgment.
happy to.
But when
Our
Steiny
schedules
orders
don't match.
something, normally there's a like a separation situation that'll happen where, you know what that is, Mark.
I mean, if you're going to do two in a row,
It's a separation situation.
sensation. Yeah. Anyway,
Certain items that he doesn't really want to eat go over to the side, and what he does want to eat gets put into the middle, and then he will eat from there.
that's how you do it.
But if you ever
fantastic.
went
That's
hard in
fine.
the paint, Willard, the Bloody Mary the next morning early.
I hear you.
Back.
I hear you.
It's been a while for Goop.
To me, tomato juice is a non-starter. My parents used to have it in the refrigerator, not Bloody Marys, tomato juice.
Oh, V8.
I'm like, I should not have had a V8. That smells gross, and I just never got around
My
it.
dad, Dwayne Dibley,
Rest in
R.I.P.
peace.
He would make his own Bloody Mary mix, and so you'd get to a Saturday morning
course he did.
when we were adults. It'd be like, Dwayne, why don't you break me off some of that Bloody Mary mix? And he would measure out his own shots, one only.
But you had olive in there?
Yeah, olive. And
man.
he's from the old school. There's no bacon. There's no side of pizza. And because the Bloody Mary has turned into like a whole experience.
Well, or haven't they all?
Celery stalk.
Yeah.
Celery
stalk
and an olive.
I'll take that.
Okay.
That's
All right.
it.
Yeah, that's classic.
Keep the bacon out of it and all the rest of the nonsense. Just tomato
You came
juice.
up in our household real quick here.
Horseradish.
Steiny and I went to Vegas August, and we went for the Super Bowl. And I met a bunch of my friends from high school, about 9 of them. They're all getting ready to go to Vegas for the NCAA tourney. And I said to myself, Willard, I wish I was part of a group that was going to do that as their ritual.
Yeah.
And I said, Dibs, you'll be on your way sometime soon. That's dope.
You are welcome to join us.
No, but it's too late.
You going this year?
It's never too late.
He goes every
Nice.
year.
No,
I know they went on hiatus a little.
last year was a hiatus.
Oh, I didn't know. You missed.
We had a baby.
Yeah.
Willard,
The year before, it was
It's really
easier to
tough.
go because the baby was on the inside. One baby
Inside.
the
Inside.
fellas still went.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they all go.
man.
They all went and they were, texting me, give me a pic.
That
or
would,
whatnot.
that would be next level friendship
You
if
ain't
all
kidding.
of your guys didn't go because you had a baby.
Dude,
Yeah.
next
that would have been
exist.
absurd.
Please.
Been like,
Solidarity.
we out.
Especially
We
as a
out.
53-year-old dad. They're like, yeah.
Do you, brother? We're
Yeah,
going to Vegas.
we won't wait
Yeah.
up for you. But this year, your boy's back. I'm going
Look at
on
you.
the Thursday morning, first thing out of town, 5:55 flight out of Oakland, my favorite. So I'll leave the house about 3:45.
Look at him.
Only thing about that is the bars aren't even open at the airport that early.
Fact, but luckily I do have a friend in the parking business, Stephen Douglas. Shout out Air Park in Oakland.
Now you have a friend in the parking business.
I've had a friend for a long time in said business, so I'll bring a couple claws for the shuttle ride.
Nice.
Claw it up, and then get on the plane in the usual place where I need to be.
Look at him.
Land at about 7:15.
Get ready. First game at 9.
Bars are open when you
That's
land.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Bars open, man. Bars open.
Here's how I'll segue a little bit. Pierce Evans is on our YouTube chat often.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, he
yeah.
is.
He can be clever.
He can be a lot of things.
He says
Hi, Pierce. Hi,
Warriors
Pierce.
need to call dibs because in the fourth quarter, they need a closer.
Yeah, fact. They were in need of a closer. Although I'll say this about last night.
Yeah.
And
They lost this one in the second and the
well,
third also.
I liked
no.
I liked your tone that you struck, Steiny.
Thanks.
And I sorry. You shit that off, Goop.
I should have known.
The word Steiny used was sobering, and it was a little sobering because the takeaway from that game, Denver's better. And I know
Yeah, but
what Draymond's
is
saying.
that shocking?
No,
Did that
but
surprise anybody?
no.
no,
doubt.
but if you were going to beat him, that was the night you were going to beat him, and then you did beat him, and then
Wow.
you didn't beat him.
Yeah,
and then
they-
Draymond said on his podcast he had no answer for the Joker. I mean, Draymond's right. They can beat Denver, but can they beat him 4 times?
Well,
Well, they haven't beat him once.
Well,
like,
yeah.
I
that's a fact.
I don't know
Man.
how this will land with people. I don't necessarily look. I'm not on the whole ride of like every game we've got to decide whether a championship is possible or not. They lost a basketball game, so they've won 10 of 13. They lost to a good team. Whatever. I didn't look at it as like the end all be all measuring stick because it's one night. But I also will already acknowledge that Denver's better.
Yep.
But if things continue, let's say they were to continue to go well, you did get into the playoffs, you did start making noise. I don't even know if you're going to have to play Denver.
Okay, you are so right, Will.
Yeah.
You might,
But
you might not.
Right.
The year they won the title. Oh, God, they won't beat Phoenix. But they didn't have to play them.
Yeah.
So
And they beat Denver, and Denver didn't have Murray, so
right,
there was
whatever.
luck involved.
Obviously,
that
very
Draymond's talking
different
about.
in Denver's arc.
But how
as
about
is
this,
the team.
Willard?
But
Looking at that team and the way they're assembled, Denver, I think the Warriors now have a Robin problem, and it's bigger than Denver. Each night, who is the second best player And that's starting to come into focus for me. It's on rotation right now. It's community, and it's getting frustrating to a point. I'm fighting the fight, and that pedigree, they're going to give a team a problem. But when you look at Denver and where they're at in Boston and all the teams that are up there, Ant and Cat, who are the Lakers, LeBron, I wish Steph had that. And it's no shade at anybody, but somebody step up.
Well, it's shade at the one guy who was their Robin when they won the chip.
I went in earlier on him, but Eddie Johnson said, let that go.
Look,
but Willard, they need a Robin. Steph needs that one guy.
But even when Wiggins was their second best player, Klay was really helping them. And Draymond was still pretty good. It was that Wiggins emerged and those other guys still played at a high level.
I look at the Wiggins I'm seeing over the last 3 or 4 weeks, and I don't think he's that much of a problem anymore. If we're going to compare him to that run for the rest of his life, we'll be forever disappointed. But you're not wrong. That job is in the listings right now.
No doubt. I said help wanted earlier.
It's been in the listings all year. It's what they were looking for and poking around about at the trade deadline. Okay. Yeah, they're looking for it too. Maybe it's on the roster, maybe it's not. But the idea, you're not wrong. The idea of that being a different person every night is not ideal. Wow. And if they did end up in a playoff series with Denver, I look at a game like last night and go, okay, so your best players didn't play well. You didn't shoot well. You're going to lose. And if it were a 7-game series, is the likelihood that the shots will not fall 4 times? Yes. Denver is taking easier shots than you. Golden State is good at making hard shots. On nights when they go in, they can beat Denver. They've shown that they can lead them for quarters and beat them for almost 4 quarters until there's 2 seconds left or whatever. But yeah, of course they'd be an underdog. They'd be a big dog against Denver if they played in the playoffs. That's the champs. They got a humongous human being who's very, very skilled.
He's incredible, man.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union.
It was like Gladys Knight and the Pips. His Pips are Jamal Murray, who's arguably a top 10 player. Aaron Gordon has turned into he's perfected his role. That's all.
He's a warrior problem. I don't know what the hell happens.
Remember when he was a liability against the
Warriors? That's what he's not now, Willard.
He has been crushing them about 7 times in a row.
He likes seeing the Warriors.
Well, he's got a big body, and the Warriors don't have any in his
and
way.
Michael Porter Jr., here he comes, just the athletic is all out. Like Denver's a great team, man.
Yeah. The reason I think one of the reasons Denver's so great is because Jokic and Murray are there every night, and Porter can be the guy who, when he plays well, you can't beat him. But he's up and down, but he's not their second best player. Like that, he's their third best player. So you can afford to have a guy a little more up and down if he's your third best player.
And you would love Kuminga to someday turn into Aaron Gordon, but that's a long, long way from now to be that big, that physical, and that talented.
Now, let me ask you this, because I think when you say the Warrior fans would love Kuminga to turn into Aaron Gordon, I think they'd say, oh, he's got to be better than Aaron Gordon.
I'd like him to be better than that.
And that's where I get both sides.
Like Aaron is a declining player for his own career.
What's he, 30 now?
But he's not athletically what he was. He's not.
I mean, okay.
You know what I mean? He's now in a situation.
He might only be 28, actually.
Well, but he can dunk and do all
I know, but he is not athletically
28.
28, but he is. He's basketball-wise better than he was when he was athletically gifted. He's a better shooter. He's a smarter player.
Yes.
He's overall better.
He's on a great team now. And look at what Jordan Poole looks like when he's on a good team.
If
look at what he looks like when he's
shoot
not.
Like Aaron Gordon can shoot, then he'll be better than Aaron Gordon.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron's not a great,
he's not.
I'd take an Aaron Gordon three-pointer as a defender all day long. Yeah. You can shoot that if you want. Aaron's a bigger guy. Aaron is now a great fit. He
no doubt.
And he's mastered
on a great team. So that always that elevates you. That's what all the Warriors for years. I mean, like if Draymond Green was a Magic, how are we looking?
Right. Yeah.
Like he's a great fit on a great team.
Complete team, man. Yep.
They're pretty good. Jamal Murray's really good.
Yeah.
Like he's really, like he took over late in that second quarter.
Second quarter, got him back, and they were teetering on the brink of not getting blown out, but the Warriors were
4 o'clock
comfortable
start,
and in front.
I was like, for this show.
And then Denver closes out the quarter, and then you get in the second half, and you get in the deep water. And
what's that feel like driving home? And I'm not blaming him at all. It's not as he was in fuego,
23,
and you don't add another one.
Yeah.
Like, what, if you'd have told me, "Go, I'll give you 35" when he had 20, I'll take it. But he
You got to
stayed
score
on
12 more points.
Yeah,
then.
he stayed on 23. Like, is that a community problem or just I don't like a like
I hope
how
Klay Thompson goes home and says, "How come I didn't score in the second period half rather than I didn't get the ball in the second half and everybody you got to go get it."
Yeah.
I mean,
I was just shocked, Willard. That was a great start.
Stuff's not everybody's fault.
No, and I hope I'm not coming across that.
No,
way.
I thought
I'm just
Denver.
asking.
I thought Denver was fantastic defensively in the second half. The Warriors were disjointed, bad, missed shots when they were there. Yeah, they played a horrible half. Second half, in fact, starting with 5 minutes to go in the second quarter, they played a horrible basketball. Denver gets a lot of the credit for that, though.
They lead the league in blown points leads of 15 points or more. Like Steiny was like, "Well, that's a problem."
Right, and that one I think is different than the other ones because it was the second quarter, and up 15 in the NBA in the second quarter is
16.
Right. I mean, that's like being up 7 with 3 minutes to go. That thing can go away in a hurry. And it did.
There's a story on the internet about lost leads the last couple years, and I want to say every team in the league last year lost multiple games when they were up double digits.
With the 3 ball?
Whether it was 10-0 to start the game or whether it was 110-100, like 10, 12-point leads. Like the best team was a team that lost only 6 times when leading by 10 at some point in the game. I'm more interested in this because you guys have been talking about Chris Paul a little bit and what happens when he comes back. He's coming back tomorrow. And it happens to be on the heels of a Pod's little mini rut, mini slump. How you feeling about Chris Paul coming back and his role and what it means for Pods and maybe even a little bit of Klay in terms of minutes and stuff?
How are you feeling about it? My answer's not great.
I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
How come?
How come I'm not feeling great? Because what he does, I think there's room for it. But I also, like last night, does not kill my buzz over 10 of the last 13. And I think that they've been a different basketball team 10 of the last 13. Podziemski has largely been a very, very positive influence in that. And I think that this runs the risk of disrupting their rhythm and also making them smaller and older and less athletic when he's out there. And those are not things that they need right now. I get that his maturity and organization and lack of turnovers, sure, there are going to be spots where that helps. But this, to me, it throws another log on the fire of what I think, and Steve Kerr gets a lot of criticism this year. I get it, but I also think that this is his toughest coaching job ever because of exactly what we were talking about. You don't even know who your 2 is. You don't know who your 3 is. You don't know who your 4 is. You don't know who your 5 is. And I feel like on night to night, we asked Steve to predict that correctly. And there's no way to do that.
He may have to. He may just have to make a decision.
He might.
And you can't play 12 in the off.
Moody, you're actually out of the rotation for Saric. You're out of the rotation. Yep. Although it'll be interesting to see if Saric comes back into play now. Chris Paul back, but I'm kind of with. It's like, Kuminga's whatever.
5 minutes less since GP2 back. I think that's a big deal.
Might be.
Yeah, I think the Lester Quinones minutes go away, and then Podziemski goes from getting 30 plus down to 25.
What about starting? That still
I think you still start him, yeah. You let Klay come off the bench with Chris Paul, and then maybe Saric gets some minutes as well, and now your second unit can be like it was at the start of the year, which is when they were better than the starters. I know the starters were bad, but you want that second unit to still be good, and I think that's where Klay shines. In the second half last night was more of an anomaly. I think that in the first half is what you want from Klay in general. Come in, fire away, be Klay. It doesn't matter if you start or not. Chris Paul's coming off the bench, and he started more games than Klay did.
Yeah.
So he adjusted. Klay will adjust, and your team's going to look a little bit different.
The Kerr contract makes me, I told Steiny and the listeners, Klay's coming back. That's just me. I felt that before, but now it like cemented it for me. Do you anything about Klay in regard to Steve getting his contract? I just don't see him in it.
I still feel like it's going to come down to the number.
Yeah.
Whatever they
For sure.
It's
For
the
sure.
number.
Number.
And I don't think the Warriors are going to go much higher than whatever that number they think is. And if Klay doesn't want to go under a number what he thinks, then we may have a ball game.
The only thing I'm curious about is that report that we haven't talked a whole lot about, that there was already a 2-year offer on the table that he turned down.
2 for 48.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, boy, wouldn't you take that now? Wouldn't you take that now if
Well,
you're
maybe
Klay?
he won't take that now. And
You should.
Does that go down? Do you
You should.
insult
Well,
him if that
if
went
he-
down to
if
18?
That's what's going to be the hard
Right,
part.
because I'm sort of driving around listening to you guys talk about it. I'm like, 2 for 40 sounds good to me. And now, does Klay take that? Because it's like, you already offered me 2 for 48.
Is that an insult?
You know, I don't know.
No, I hear you there.
Klay,
But doesn't
you're
it
here
feel
this
like
year.
that should be the contract? You want to be a Warrior for 2 more years? 2 for 40.
yeah, but if another team wants to give
Wow,
you
there
3
we
for
go.
60, would you take 3 for 60 with Philly or 2 for 40 to stay here?
I wouldn't, but I don't walk in those shoes. Like
Exactly.
I would keep my boat and be out on the bay for 40
Right.
rather than 60, and ride with the $200+ million that I've already made.
Well.
But that's not the way guys usually do it.
Right.
And
there's ego involved as
sure,
well.
Sure. And hashtag Brandon Crawford. It's gonna
was
be
just gonna
it's
say.
gonna be okay
Cardinals?
if he plays somewhere else someday. Jerry Rice. It's gonna be okay.
Joe
Ronnie
Montana.
Lott.
It's gonna be okay. He's still going to be yours.
Tim Lincecum
Bay.
was an Angels.
Yes.
I forgot about
One thing
Mark
about
hit me with that last week, and I was like, no
forgot he
way,
was an
dude.
angel.
I'll tell you what,
Bumgarner, it's gonna be okay.
We could have a fun game.
Emmett Smith was on the
Naming,
Cardinals.
everybody forgets those last teams, guys.
Oh, man,
You could
totally.
have, I
Shaq
forgot-
got some too. Yeah.
Shaq did a
You
bunch.
think if Oral Hershiser walks into
Shaq
Dodger
played
Stadium,
for the
they're like, you
Celtics?
jerk, you played for the Giants.
Shaq played for the Celtics. I forgot about
Shaq
that.
played for everybody. He played for the Suns.
Phoenix,
He played for the Cavs. He
Ewing
played
played for
the Celtics.
Seattle.
I don't like
Dude,
that, man.
last week,
Ewing.
Mark mentioned Carmelo Anthony, and so, as we're talking, usually Mark talks and I Google. It's
Right.
kind of how our show works. And
Thank
so I was like, oh my God.
My Googler.
He played for like 5 teams after the
Oh,
Knicks. It was
boy.
like a bunch of Denver and then a whole host of New York. And then it's like, oh my God, every other team, Carmelo. Look at you.
Totally.
Elijah Wan,
man.
Toronto Raptor.
No.
Yeah.
Was he
I don't
really?
believe
Yeah, I
that.
don't even remember
Everybody
He
that.
only
reminded me
had
of that.
one, though, right? That was it.
One or two.
Yeah. I think Toronto was far as he got for
Steph,
the dream.
Charlotte.
Stop it.
stop.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
We were having such fun.
I'm about to
good.
go Mikhail Bridges on you for that,
Oh, man.
which we're going to talk about.
Oh,
You about to go
Friday
what?
night. Friday night. He said Mikhail. He's going to go
Mikal
Mikhail
Bridges.
Bridges.
Not
on
Cam Newton, huh? Oh, that
you.
boy.
Oh, God.
Dude.
What the hell started that?
Jump.
Some kids tried to jump him. They did.
Sports.
Why?
There was
I
a
don't know.
beef. I
Yeah.
know the backstory.
Do you know it?
Yeah. Thank you, TMZ, for giving me the full backstory.
Did you
tried to
really
get
go
him.
to TMZ.com to read this
Diz,
stuff?
I wish we had 10
So
more
today,
minutes.
I brought my lunch and
I've never
looked at me like if he had a
I've
knife.
never seen a death
Yeah.
stare. I covered
boy.
Kobe Bryant, and I've never seen a death stare like that.
yeah.
Wow.
Apparently, a couple of coaches who used to coach
Thank
with
you, Mark.
Cam Newton on his youth team went and started their own thing, and so there was previous beef. And Chris
That was
Cross
ugly,
was there.
though, yeah.
Jump.
Yeah.
Here, memo to
Yeah, Cam did not go
memo
down.
to
It didn't work,
youth
yeah,
coaches.
no doubt.
If you're gonna try to jump a 6'7" former pro athlete, you're gonna have to come with more than 2 little
Scotty, I
oompa
sent it to you. Check it out, man.
Dude.
He's a strong dude.
Like no one hit him above the waist.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
And the hat didn't
like-
move at all.
He didn't even knock
Dr.
his
Seuss hat
hat
just
off.
stayed on.
Dude, it was like the holder and the punter and the special teams gunner. There were no linebacker in that jump effort.
In my mind, those little kids were going, Brock Purdy's a game changer. Like in my mind, I don't
man,
know
boy,
that
you
that's
don't
what
wanna
it was
be Bronx
about, but
folks.
that's what I wanted it to
Yeah.
be.
All right,
That's what I
gents.
wanted it. Oh, the bag is all
All right,
gone.
gents.
All right,
flag is on the
you gotta wait
shoulder.
for the. All right, gents.
All right,
What's
Jets.
up?
Yeah, Willard and Dibs. Yeah.
What do you got coming up today?
A show.
All right.
A freaking show.
Don't go anywhere. Willard and Dibs on the other side on 95.7 The Game. Wayne Gretzky, the St. Louis Blues? Oh, boy. I don't know. Stay tuned.